My submissive stepped way out of line yesterday. So to punish her, I decided to ignore her for several hours because physical punishment won't work as she loves being spanked, whipped, etc. Okay, so let's stop there. Great job, dominant. Our dominant here has identified their submissive's pain point. It sounds like we have a little bit of a masochist on our hands, and they realize that any sort of physical pain is not a punishment, but a what, class? Anyone? Anyone? There we go. Good job. Good job. So, good job to our dominant here. So punishment, physical punishment route won't work as she loves being spanked, whipped, etc. So I went down the emotional route. After about 3 hours of ignoring her, she came to me crying and pleading on her hands and knees, saying she is sorry, but I was still extremely angry. So I continued to ignore her for a further 4 hours. Oh, she all fucked up over there. At this point, she felt neglected and that I didn't care about her anymore. Do you think I took her punishment too far? I never want my sub to feel neglected. Okay. Little Faye is saying, I don't think it's that bad. Not reacting out of anger is great. Definitely a proportionate response. Sub is overreacting. Okay, so we've got some mixed signals on this one. Okay. You think punishment was okay? Okay. I mean, I don't know what the thing that caused it was, right? And that's very important to know. Was it communicated that this was the punishment? He didn't say that. He didn't say that. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt here because he does know the line between punishment and punishment, and seems that we have that level of intuition and understanding. So we can say that he communicated that it was a punishment. If the sub felt unimportant, then I'd say yes, but that could be a realignment talk. Your little one being ignored for even an hour would crush him. I can't imagine 7. I know my views on things may be slightly skewed. I think if it did its job, she won't be doing that again. Okay. Mental punishments can be hard, but are also effective at the same time. Okay. So, great feedback from my community. Great feedback. Would you like my perspective on this? I don't have to. I'll just let you all go. I'll just let you all go. All right. I think that all of you are partially right. I didn't hear anything that I disagreed with, but I think that we can fill it out a little bit better. So I think that where I'm landing here is the final line, okay? Because the dominant expressed his own line. The dominant expressed his own boundary for punishment, okay? And based off of the dominant's own boundary for punishment, the dominant overstepped, okay? So, but that's even that, Mr. Growls, and I'll show you why that is technically irrelevant in this answer. You all are curious. You all are salivating and wanting to know what this poor little creature did, but it's actually irrelevant to the answer. Okay, here's what the dominant said in the last line. Do you think, this is the question, do you think I took her punishment too far? I never want my sub to feel neglected. I never want my sub to feel neglected. That is what he said. That is my goal in punishment. I want to punish, but I do not want her to feel neglected. That is what he stated. Okay? Then he says earlier in the message, at this point, after he ignored her for 4 more hours, at this point, she felt neglected and like I didn't care about her anymore. That, feeling neglected and like your dominant doesn't care about you, that is not punishment. That is abandonment. And abandonment is not punishment. You do not ever use that as punishment. Abandonment is abandonment. Abandonment is abuse. Abandonment is wrong. He was trying to administer a punishment. It was interpreted as neglect, as I'm not cared about anymore. Okay? So I think the answer is, did he cross a line? Based off of his own definition and his own goal for punishment, yes, he did. However, the other side to this is I also do not, as the dominant, if my submissive steps out of line to the point where I have to not talk to her, where I don't even want to talk to her for 3 hours, I don't even want to talk to her all day. That is also, like you guys were saying, don't punish out of anger. And if whatever she did created that much within the dominant needs the time to come down. I think it could have been handled a couple of different ways. After the 3-hour timeline, I think Zara is absolutely right. I think that if the submissive came to him on her hands and knees, crying, saying, I'm so sorry, begging for forgiveness, I would still be mad, but my heart would move. My heart would move because I would see there's genuine remorse at that time. And I don't want her to feel neglected or that I don't care. So at that point, I'm still angry and I do need time to process. But I'm seeing remorse. And that's what I want to see. So at that time, a conversation could happen of, I see that you're sorry. And I am glad that you're sorry. I'm not ready to engage with you yet. So I would like you to go and occupy yourself for the rest of the evening. When I am capable of speaking with you in a calm way, again, we will talk about this. I think that is perfectly fine. Absolutely perfectly fine. I also think that if at that time the dominant did soften a little bit, and you see, okay, I was really mad, and then I see the genuine brokenness and the remorse here, and you do shift and you do soften, but you're like, okay, I'm not going to ignore. I don't want them to feel neglected. That would be a point that you could also maybe bring them into your space, but not engage with them directly. You're still kind of administering the punishment, but you're slowly beckoning them back in. That could also have been a great technique to use as well. So I think, yes, it was not handled correctly, but I think that both sides have a point